I refused to change my wedding date for my sister's vacation and my family abandoned me. Now they're shocked I skipped her wedding too.
Part 2.
She started mentioning other family members who were upset. No names, no specifics, just vague claims about how a lot of people feel like you don't care about your own family. Mark stopped responding entirely. No texts, no calls, nothing. Up until now, he hadn't been as vocal as Ava, but now it was obvious he had taken a side. I sent him a couple of messages about wedding planning, nothing about the drama, but got nothing in return. He had decided his work event mattered more, and that was that. Then my dad finally spoke up. I hoped he would back me up, but instead he hesitated before saying that he and my mom were reconsidering attending. Instead of making a firm decision, he acted like skipping my wedding was simply an unfortunate byproduct of family tensions. He tried to soften it, saying something about how they didn't want there to be tension on our wedding day, but the message was clear. They didn't like that I wasn't giving in, and they were thinking about boycotting their own son's wedding over it. Emma's parents, on the other hand, couldn't believe what was happening. They had been watching this unfold, and when they heard that my parents might skip the wedding, they were done being polite about it. They reassured us over and over that we weren't in the wrong and made it clear that no matter what my family did, they would be there fully supporting us. At that point, Emma and I decided we weren't going to wait around for my family to approve of our choices. The wedding was still happening, and we were going to enjoy planning it. We started finalizing details, booking things, and making it a day we would be excited about, regardless of who decided to show up. That's when the family started splitting into teams. Some of my cousins, aunts, and uncles reached out, either congratulating us or letting me know they'd be there. But others, they were clearly siding with my parents and Ava. I heard through the grapevine that my mom and Ava had been complaining to everyone about how unfair I was being. The way they told it, I was the one making things difficult by refusing to compromise. Then the Facebook post happened. My mom never called me out directly, but it was obvious who it was about. A long passive-aggressive post about how some people forget the meaning of family and how it's a shame when selfish choices drive loved ones apart. The comments were just as bad. A bunch of relatives chimed in, all vague but clearly agreeing with her. Emma didn't even blink. She just told me not to respond. She saw exactly what it was, an attempt to drag me into more drama, and she was right. If I engaged, it would just turn into a giant mess. Instead of getting sucked into it, I did what we had planned all along. We sent out the wedding invitations. We included my family, making it crystal clear that they were still welcome. That's when Ava and Mark made it official. Both of them declined. They didn't call, didn't explain, just sent in their RSVPs with a firm no. My parents, on the other hand, stayed vague. They didn't decline outright, but they didn't confirm either. They were still holding on to the idea that maybe I'd change my mind. Then a cousin gave me a heads up. My mom and Ava made it clear they weren't happy about the wedding date, but I didn't expect them to start subtly discouraging family members from attending. They didn't outright demand a boycott, but their constant negativity was enough to make some relatives hesitant. That was it. My breaking point. I was done trying to please people who clearly didn't care about me. I wasn't going to keep begging my own family to show up. Emma and I sat down, looked at each other, and made a decision. We weren't wasting another second on them. The wedding was going to be amazing, whether my family was there or not. And when the honeymoon came, we were leaving without telling them a thing. The wedding day arrived. I woke up early, staring at the ceiling for a few moments before everything sank in. It was finally happening. After months of planning, after all the stress and drama, today was the day. Emma was already up, getting ready in another room with her bridesmaids. The house was buzzing with excitement. Her family had been up since dawn, making sure every little detail was perfect. Then my phone buzzed. A cousin had texted. Just so you know, your parents, Ava and Mark, aren't coming. No explanation. No last-minute change of heart. Just confirmation of what I already expected. I put my phone down and got dressed. The suit fit perfectly. Everything was in place. Outside, Emma's parents were making sure the cars arrived on time, guests were being greeted, and music was playing softly in the background. It was clear they had stepped up. They weren't just treating this like any wedding. They were treating it like their son was getting married, not just their daughter. The ceremony was beautiful, the venue was packed. Every seat filled, except for the empty ones meant for my parents, Ava and Mark. I had prepared myself for it, but seeing those empty chairs was something else. Emma's dad walked her down the aisle. Her mom was already teary-eyed, and her brother stood proudly beside her, my side of the family. A few cousins, some aunts and uncles who hadn't bought into my mom's nonsense, and my favorite aunt. That was the biggest surprise of the day. I hadn't expected her to come, but just as the ceremony was starting, she slipped into one of the seats. Later, she pulled me aside, shaking her head. I don't care what your mom says. You're my nephew, and I wasn't going to miss this. Emma and I exchanged vows. The officiant pronounced us husband and wife, and just like that, it was done. No more stress. No more waiting. As soon as we kissed, the whole crowd erupted in cheers. Any thoughts about my family disappeared in the noise of clapping, laughter, and excitement. Then came the reception. The moment we stepped inside, Emma's family made sure we were showered with love and attention. Toast were made, glasses clinked, and the food was perfect. Every time I turned around, one of Emma's relatives was making sure we were happy, checking in, making the day feel special. If my family thought they could make this wedding feel empty by not showing up, they failed. Halfway through the night, someone handed me an envelope. It was from my parents. Inside was a check and a note. "We hope you learn the value of family someday." I folded the note and slipped it into my pocket without saying a word. The check straight into my jacket unread. Emma caught on immediately. She squeezed my hand under the table and kept the conversation going like nothing had happened. We danced, laughed, and took photos. Nothing was going to ruin this night. Then the pictures and videos started spreading. Guests posted about how beautiful everything was. A few relatives even commented, saying they wished my parents had been there. Hours later, Ava made her feelings clear with a vague Instagram story. Some people don't value family traditions. It wasn't unexpected, but it was disappointing to see her double down instead of reflecting. No names, no direct call out, but she didn't have to. The timing said it all. The next morning, I woke up to another message. This time, a voicemail. My mom. It was long. Too long. She wasn't yelling, but her voice had that tone. The one she used when she wanted to make sure I knew I was in the wrong. She went on about how the family was falling apart, how I had pushed them away, how Ava and Mark were heartbroken. She threw in phrases, like, "After everything we've done for you, and I never thought my own son would do this." Then my dad sent a text, "I regret how things turned out," but when I asked if he had tried to convince Mom or Ava to reconsider, he dodged the question. His regret wasn't about what had happened. It was about the consequences of staying silent. Emma watched as I read it, then rolled her eyes. "We had a perfect wedding. Don't let them rewrite it." She was right. We weren't about to let the guilt trips drag us back in. Before anyone else could try to interfere, we packed our bags and left for our honeymoon without telling them where we were going. The honeymoon was perfect. No stress. No drama. Just me and Emma. Far away from everything. We had picked a beautiful resort, a place with white sand beaches, unlimited drinks, and the kind of peace that made it easy to forget the chaos leading up to the wedding. For the first few days, we kept our phones off. No messages, no calls, no distractions, but drama doesn't take a vacation. One morning, I turned my phone on and immediately saw a flood of missed calls, unread messages, and notifications from the family group chat. At first, I ignored them, but then Emma's phone lit up too. My mom, my sister, even Mark, all calling, all texting. Something had happened. I opened the group chat, and it was pure chaos. My mom was in full meltdown mode, calling out the family members who had attended the wedding. According to her, they had betrayed the family by showing up to support me and Emma. She wasn't just upset. They were being called out by name, accused of enabling disrespect and choosing sides. Aunt Linda, the one who had surprised me by coming, was the first target. My mom had sent a long dramatic message about how I guess loyalty doesn't mean much these days, and some people are too easily swayed. Then came Ava, jumping in to back her up. She wasn't even trying to hide her bitterness. She was personally offended that anyone had dared to celebrate my wedding instead of thinking about the bigger picture, as if her vacation was the bigger picture. One of my cousins had enough, so let me get this straight. You skipped your own son's brother's wedding over a vacation and a work event, and now you're mad at the people who actually showed up. Make it make sense. Ava ignored that and went straight to playing the victim. A few minutes later, she posted a dramatic Instagram story, a black and white photo with some vague nonsense, like some people forget who's always been there for them, and loyalty isn't what it used to be. Meanwhile, Mark sent me a private message. He hadn't said much before, but now he admitted that he didn't think things would escalate like this. He made it sound like he wanted to be neutral but didn't know how. His excuse, "I don't want to get in the middle of it." Too late for that. Then my mom made her next move. She switched tactics and went straight to Emma's phone. The message was long, guilt-trippy, and full of fake concern. According to her, I was tearing the family apart, and Emma needed to talk some sense into me before it was too late. Emma glanced at the message, sighed, and didn't even hesitate before replying. "We're on our honeymoon. We're not entertaining this drama." Then she put her phone down and went back to drinking her cocktail. Back in the group chat, people were still arguing. While my mom and Ava were fuming, more and more family members started pushing back. More pictures and videos from the wedding had been posted online, and it was obvious how happy the day had been, even without my parents, Ava and Mark. Then Aunt